Good morning, everyone. I'm Chris Honorato. This is Tuesday, August 29th. You're watching 13 Now, where we bring you breaking news, the day's biggest stories, and, of course, that first warning forecast. Our meteorologist, Christina Talamo, is, of course, keeping track of everything here in the capital region with eyes on the Gulf as well, with hurricane, what is now a hurricane, Hurricane Idalia, that happened around 5 o'clock this morning. Here locally and what's happening today, the co-founder of Saratoga Black Lives Matter was on the court calendar in the city of Saratoga Springs. Lexis Figuereo is facing charges after police say he disrupted this Saratoga Springs City Council meeting back in April. Meanwhile, he's suing the city, alleging excessive force by police during a 2020 protest. Figuereo is scheduled to be in Saratoga City Court. That was happening just before we came on here at 9 o'clock this morning. We'll certainly keep you updated on what happened in court today. There are still questions about what started those two massive fights outside of both Crossgates and Colonie Center over the weekend. The brawl at Crossgates started outside in the parking lot near the movie theater. It involved around 50 people and then grew to upwards 100 people. It took multiple police agencies to break it up. The incident at Colonie Center, we're told, was a group of people under the age of 18. Police tell us there were no reported injuries and no arrests have been made in either of those fights. All right, let's get to that first warning forecast now with our meteorologist, Christina Talamo, who, as I said, is, of course, keeping track of a cloudy start here on this Tuesday in the capital region, but certainly what the state of Florida is bracing for with what is now a hurricane, Hurricane Idalia. Hey, Christina.
Hey, Chris. Yeah, and we'll start off by talking about the tropics this morning. Again, This is going to be a really interesting situation over the next day or so, well, next couple of days, but making landfall early tomorrow morning. And this is just north of an area that was hit hard with Hurricane Ian. So still a lot of areas recovering from that. And at this point this morning, this storm, Hurricane Idalia, is even stronger than we expected it to be at this point yesterday. So pretty wild, and we'll likely see that storm continue to intensify. That's what happens when storms kind of move into the Gulf of Mexico with this warm, almost like bath water, and that's what fuels the intensification there. So we're going to see that continue over the next day or so.
Now, I know you're waiting for me to throw up your graphics. I'm looking at the 7-day, which means I've got the wrong computer. Here's the problem for everybody watching on YouTube. The computer that I use to control, or at least give Christina access to her graphics, I don't control them, is locked out. And
that's so funny.
I have no idea how to get into it. I think it's an administrative password. People in the building are smart not to give it to me. So I can only show you the 7-day forecast, Christina. So if you wouldn't mind painting us kind of a picture of what's happening today.
I can actually switch it over to the second computer if our viewers would like to hold on for
great. Okay.
About 10 seconds.
All right. Well, why don't you do that and I'll do this. I'll tell people about how much money these two fish concerts raised in Saratoga Springs over the weekend. $3 million. And this was an impromptu music festival, 2-day music festival, if you will, after the severe flooding that hit upstate New York and Fish's home state of Vermont. The jam band decided we want to do something to help the people affected, to help those areas rebuild. All proceeds from those concerts are being donated. Governor Kathy Hochul, of course, our governor in New York, said that the money will go to flood victims in the Hudson Valley and to the home state of Fish, which is Vermont. So $3 million brought in by those two concerts at SPAC on Friday and Saturday night. A busy weekend in Saratoga, as we have detailed. Okay, now back to Christina and that first warning forecast.
Back to the weather. Yes, and I've got the graphics up on Max.
Here we go.
Yeah, there we go. We've got Hurricane Idalia, and it was a tropical storm just prior to 5 a.m. And what happens is they send hurricane hunters actually to fly directly over the storm. And that is when they determine whether they're going to upgrade the storm from a tropical storm or to up to a hurricane, because that's how we find out if a storm has intensified to hurricane status. So we were able to determine that early this morning when we got the latest report back from the National Hurricane Center at 5 a.m. Now Category 1 hurricane. and it has intensified since then. 80-mile-per-hour maximum sustained winds gusting up to 90 and tracking northward at 15 miles per hour. And you'll notice those outer rain bands there are starting to get closer to the Gulf Coast of Florida. So something to keep an eye on already. Those outer rain bands could lead to tornadoes later on tonight. And then by tomorrow morning, expecting landfall around the Big Bend of Florida there and the Panhandle. So have to keep an eye on that. Could be a Category 3 major hurricane when it makes landfall. And we're not talking about just strong winds, heavy rain, flooding, storm surge that could be up to 12 feet. It's going to be a very serious situation. So if you know anybody down south on the Gulf Coast of Florida, now is the time to prepare. Really running out of time to prepare for that. Heading back up to the Northeast, something I want to talk about, the rain, top 5 wettest summers. And after yesterday's rain, look where we are. We're number 4 for the top 5 wettest summers since records began in 1826 with just over 18 inches of rain. And this is starting June 1st through the end of August. So pretty wild. And I know it's no shock to anybody at home that we've had a very rainy, wet summer. Starting off this morning, as Chris was saying, we're looking at cloudy skies, 69 degrees on that CDPHP first warning weather cam. Most of us are looking at clouds early this morning, but it is dry. And we're looking at also warmer temperature that's mild and it's muggy as you're stepping out the door. Temperatures for the most part are in the mid to upper 60s. And dew points today, dew point, just a measure of that humidity, they're in the mid 60s. So it's going to be feeling quite uncomfortable. So noticeably more humid today compared to yesterday. High temperatures topping out in the lower 80s. Current satellite and radar were cloudy, but we're dry. A few sprinkles passing by in the Adirondacks. Otherwise, we're kind of sandwiched between 2 weather systems here. One moving across the Great Lakes and one off to our south and east, that coastal system. So we'll stay dry today for the most part. Outside an isolated shower, the better chance for some rain will come with that upper level system moving over in the overnight period. And by tomorrow morning, we'll be dealing with some rain. So as we head throughout the day today, we'll see some breaks of sunshine, a few more spotty showers in the Adirondacks. Otherwise, largely dry, thickening clouds again later tonight, overnight by tomorrow morning. This is 4 a.m. We'll start to see some rain spread across the area, a period of locally heavier rain possible as well. And also can't rule out a rumble of thunder. So through the morning hours, we'll look at that rain for the morning commute. But by 9-10 a.m. might be for the most part out of here with just a leftover spotty shower or two. Breaks the sunshine into the afternoon and then a few additional spotty showers through the second half of your Wednesday. But overall, not that bad. Once that batch of rain moves through in the morning, we'll look at a drying trend for the second half of your Wednesday. Highs today, lower 80s, muggy, isolated shower clouds this morning. Sunny breaks by midday. Rain to start your Wednesday. Clearing up by Thursday. Lots of sunshine, low humidity, lower to mid 70s for highs, upper 70s by Friday. And then tracking nothing but dry weather and sunshine. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Labor Day weekend looking great. And it'll feel like summer for sure with those high temperatures in the mid to upper 80s by Monday. Humidity returns as well.
Yeah, one of our coworkers said yesterday, getting ready to close the pool. Not with those temperatures over Labor Day weekend. Summer is returning here.
Yeah, if you can delay closing the pool a couple of days, you might want to find ways to cool off on Monday for sure.
Yeah. All right, Christina, thank you. A good look at that 7-day forecast and, of course, a look at the tropics. The latest on the track of Hurricane Idalia coming up on News Channel 13 live at noon. Hope you'll join us then. Thank you for watching 13 Now. I'm Chris Honorato. Have a great day.